we are going way off the grid to tackle the surreal outsider cult films of Damon Packard.
If you learn more and more about this guy, like, he is such a curmudgeon. Like, I don't know if you've ever listened to interviews with him, but he likes what he likes and hates everything else. Like, he really, like, the antagonistic element is like, it's definitely there. Like, he's pretty mad about existence.
I do get that vibe from him because
yeah,
it is a little, it's like, aggressive. That there's the sound effects
this is about
in this.
His anger.
He thought like a big Hollywood producer was going to see this and say, "Man, this is our guy. We've got to give him millions."
Rags to rags.
Rags to rags, yeah. Temporary riches that he then blew on making this movie. But
and sat down and he and Damon Packard ended up spending the whole meeting just singing the praises of Steven Spielberg and how he's like the pinnacle, how he loves John Williams soundtracks and all this like Hollywood stuff. And he's confusing. It's like, I think he's totally detached from this idea of being palatable and understandable to other people or how his movies would be received by the average person. It feels like he has no idea. Like, maybe he was thinking like these big studio, they're going to see this and want to make a movie with him, but it's like, that would never happen.
Maybe there's even like a certain amount of like resentment about the idea that he'll never be a Spielberg, you know, I like just on one level perhaps, or like he wants to make movies. He loves movies clearly, but he's never going to be anything in the world of film history. Right.
You know, thinking that he was going to make something like Mad Max and then just not having any idea how to do it. But
I mean,
it is blurred a little bit, you know, is all of this 100% his vision, like he wants it to be this way, or he just can't do anything else?
I think there's a real desperation here. Like, that seems very apparent to me, but I think he is like aware that he's getting on in years. And again, like seeing just like how unlikely his dream might be, or, so I think he's like having sort of this crisis. Like, I mean, he's blowing so much money that he has received that anyone would be like, okay, now I can get a house and create a life for myself. But instead, he's creating reflections of evil. He is airing his hatred and showing his life and his darkest kind of secret hatred, kind of almost to the point where you don't like him. Because I do think he's sort of exposing himself in some ways, like I mean, you could say that there's some fear of minorities here, and in some scenes. If I'm being ungenerous, but I think there is like whether he's being intentional or not. I mean, I feel like he's
absolutely racial,
because it's there. Like, there is like a lot of black characters here that are like he is like his character is frightened of and are coming at him and are like some of the source of his biggest arguments and things like that, or which I don't know if you have anything to say on that.
Have you seen anything else by him?
I've seen the Untitled Star Wars documentary,
okay,
and some of his random. I guess he's really into the like AI generated movies now.
If it's going to be so in that lane, then you're never going to get enough money and resources maybe to realize what you actually want to do. But also, who's to say if he's really capable of reining it all in and focusing like that? If he did have all the resources in the world, like, who knows what the actual end product would be.
And now it's your turn to give it back. That's how the whole thing works.
That's how the whole thing works, huh? So now I'm supposed to give inspiration to some flyer.
Yes, but you're not going back as a flying instructor. That's only part of it.
Well, how is this supposed to work?
When you get the hang of it, they hear you inside their own minds, as if it were their thoughts. Clever?
Clever?
But remember, Pete, you've had your life, for better or for worse. And anything you do for yourself now is a waste of spirit. And there's your boy.